Matthias Caravallo from ZK Research here, and I'm on site at Zscaler's user conference, Zenith Live 2023 here in Las Vegas. I'm joined by James Colson. You are the Business Information Security Officer at Liberty Mutual.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Just maybe a quick bio on yourself, what you do there?
Yeah, sure. So I've been at Liberty Mutual for about 11 years now. I work exclusively in cybersecurity. My career, I go back around 25 years. I've worked in the government sector, the military sector, telecommunications, and as I said, most recently with Liberty Mutual for 11 years. And my background is really in network security and application security. But about 2 years ago, I took the BISO role, and I've been doing that, and I love the role, and it's a better breadth of security all the way across, so I'm finding it really rewarding.
So government, telecom, financial service, and all the easy jobs.
Yeah, they're all easy. Yeah.
So, you know, Zscaler is an interesting company, right? They really kind of pioneered this concept of moving security to the cloud. I think it's fair to say before the pandemic, it got a little bit of interest, but really at the pandemic, I think it really changed the way people thought about security. And I know you have been using them for a while, but the pandemic really was a big inflection point for your organization, right?
Yeah, it was a huge inflection point. So with Zscaler, we go back about 6 years. We started our journey with ZIA, and now we've moved into ZPA and ZDX. However, we were a traditional VPN user, traditional firewall user, tunnel user. And even though we were on that zero trust journey and we had moved into Zscaler, when the pandemic hit, it really escalated our efforts. We realized right away that remote work was going to be the way forward for, no one knew how long at that time, but remote work was going to be the way forward. So we really escalated like agent rollout, getting employees educated, getting people online, and then just started working in that mode. And Zscaler was a big part of our success in that. And of course, the technical people at Liberty I always thank, because they were a huge part of that process.
Yeah, and so let's talk about that transition. So you were a very traditional VPN firewall shop, right? Now you're all ZTNA.
Yep.
Right, and moving forward, will you primarily remain a hybrid workforce, remote workforce?
We will. Like most of the, people have seen the news out there. Most large companies have some type of return to office program. At Liberty Mutual, we're looking at around 2 days a week right now to come back, and we're going to continue with that. Even in a hybrid working environment, we're still going to operate using our zero trust technology. We're not looking to revert to anything that we did in the past. We found it to be not only rewarding for like how we're getting our work done, but from a hybrid experience, the employees being more engaged, everybody having a voice regardless of where they are around the world, and making sure that they all have that security profile with them throughout their session is super important to us. So even as we move back into a hybrid working environment, we're going to continue to be a huge zero trust advocate.
So you'll have offices with no firewalls?
We will have offices in the future with no firewalls. We, without spilling too much of our secret sauce, we're like most companies, we had a lot of data centers, and we have far less data centers today than we did 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, and so do you feel with that change in architecture, let's be real, like the firewall model had been around a long time, it's fair to say that it had its challenges, right? And so do you feel more secure this way?
We do feel more secure. Obviously, one of the largest challenges when you're managing your own infrastructure is just if things go down, if you have business impact, it's nice that all of those things are in your control, but they come with a large expense, and you have to do a lot of training of your employees. So we're pretty comfortable moving into these, software as a service or cloud as a service models. This is, we're also large in the cloud with AWS and Azure, and we rely now on our providers to give us a stable environment and help limit our downtime, and we're comfortable with that model. We've compared it to our downtimes in a more traditional infrastructure model versus the CAS model, and it's working well for us, so we're planning to stick with it. We're 74-75% in the cloud today as a company, and when you're on that journey and that's your mandate, I call it legacy infrastructure. The way we worked 10 years ago isn't going to work for the next 10 years.
Yeah, and you're a big company too. That's a lot of large companies haven't been as aggressive moving everything to the cloud.
Yeah, we're pretty large. We run, the numbers can vary, but if you look at employees, contractors, partners, we probably run around 70,000 users are in our environment. And obviously, I think we're Fortune 74 now, which is great. I'm very proud to work at Liberty Mutual. But yeah, very large company, and sometimes it's an aircraft carrier, but I'm always amazed at how quickly Liberty pivots when it comes to technology.
Yeah, well, everyone knows your tagline, so you're pretty well known.
Right.
Now, I'm curious, one of the themes at this event, and really every event that I've been to in the last year, is artificial intelligence, right? And how does that change your business? And how do you think about it versus the risks it might create?
Yeah, it definitely changes our business, and it's actually out here. I've done a couple discussions about generative AI and how it's working at Liberty Mutual. So,
Is it a good thing or a bad thing?
I believe it's a good thing. I think technology changes, and when you have those pivot points in technology, you have two choices. You can try to hold the wall, or you can embrace it and see what automation comes out of it. So when I think of generative AI in the insurance industry, there's a ton of value there. There's value in code co-piloting, being able to write more secure code and better written code. Also, document summarization is a huge value use case for the insurance industry with this. The ability to make call centers more efficient, that's a huge thing. But at the other side, I like to call it AI for the masses now, right?
Yes.
But on the other side, not everybody's a super responsible user when it comes to AI. Those emails you get from your Nigerian prince are going to be more well written than they have been in the past.
And they'll be from your CEO now.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
That's the difference.
So, we're taking a balanced approach to generative AI. We're really using context and persona as how we're deciding on access. There's a lot of AI sites out there we certainly don't want access to because we don't want our proprietary data, our code, contracts, customer information to be in a learning language model. But at the same time, we want to embrace that where we can to move our business forward. So we've looked at personas, data scientists, marketing individuals, some developers. Those are the people that need access to generative AI, and we're supporting that, and we're using our zero trust model to make those decisions on who has access and who doesn't.
Yeah, and what kind of, you mentioned the Nigerian prince, and that's one I think that scares a lot of people. What other security implications do you think this has?
For generative AI, I think the main security implication here is when you think about the value models, like chatbots are emerging everywhere, generative AI certainly plays in that, but on the other side, how easy is it going to be, how the barrier for entry for malicious activity is going to really lower because you're not going to have to be as skilled as you've been in the past to be able to launch attacks and run attacks. And there's a lot of theories like, can generative AI be used to manage botnets or to launch denial of service attacks more efficiently in the past? And those are real concerns. So
I think the answer is yes, actually.
I think the answer is yes, and I don't know all the ways it can be used because I'm working on the white hat side of the house, but I'm sure individuals on that black hat side of the house are already looking at what can they do, how can they be more efficient, because at the end of the day, for much of malicious activity, it's about profit. Those are profit-driven organizations, and if generative AI is a way to make them more profit, they're certainly going to use it.
Yeah, so I think you can think of security always been fight fire with fire, right? If you're going to move to the cloud, you need cloud security. If AI is coming, you need AI-based security. And so have you thought about how AI can actually change security operations and make, frankly, your job easier?
Yeah, we've started to think about that. Where I would say generative AI has been around for a while. Learning language models have been around for a while, but it's really become hot right in the last 9 months. So every organization is looking at how they can use that. So when I think about how can generative AI improve security, right now it's more in the responsible use area, user education and awareness area, being able to get our message out and be able to have people use it for that. It certainly is going to make us more efficient when we think about gathering cybersecurity information or building portfolios or being able to analyze large amounts of data. I talked a little bit about document summarization. That can be really important when you're looking at security telemetry. But I would honestly say, ask me that question again in 6 months, I probably have a better answer because we're on that journey like everybody else. Like, where is our value in cybersecurity with generative AI?
And do you trust it enough that it gave you recommendations? You would trust it, or you still need that? I'm assuming you still need that.
I 100% don't trust it enough. So when people think of generative AI, it's cool, and people think it has all the answers, but it's important to remember that it's not deterministic, it's probabilistic, right? It's giving you its best guess. But there's a reason that there's emerging career fields like prompt engineering, and these models still need to be trained. They're not always highly accurate. I might ask ChatGPT 10 questions, and 8 of them might be accurate, but I might ask it a simple question like, who's the CIO of my organization? And it might throw out a name that's not the CIO of my organization. So I would say, much like Wikipedia, it's not 100% accurate. Like, that's why I love the term co-pilot, because you need a human co-pilot in there. Don't ask it a question, take the result and run with it. Get the result, trust but verify, and then move along. It's a powerful tool, and it's going to get, as Gen 4, Gen 5, as it continues to mature, it's going to get better and better. But I always think human co-pilot is a very important part of using these models.
Yeah. And just a couple more questions. And so if you think about the world moving forward, what are the things that concern you the most from a security perspective?
From a security perspective, the things that concern me the most...
What keeps you up at night?
Yeah, the things that keep me more up at night really are our APT actors out there. You know, we're seeing increased activity from financially driven, organized crime type. These individuals...
And they're very well run.
Very well run like many corporations. They're recruiting, they're recruiting university level talent.
Yeah.
And, it's always, when you're on the defense, it's always hard to keep up with the offense. But of all the threats that are out there, probably the number one is always the threats we can control, like phishing, smishing. Let's make sure we're patching our environment, because that's still the number one way to get on a system. But when I think about the motivation, the expertise that we see emerging and continues to emerge in the malicious side of things, that keeps me up at night. And it's the APTs. It's state actors aren't always targeting states anymore. They're targeting financial institutions. They're targeting energy institutions. So, yeah, I would say beside the things that are common, that are always going to be there, your patching and those type of things, APTs are really a biggest threat area, I think, that I'm worried about.
Yeah, well, I don't blame you there, and that's
Yeah.
why I'm no longer in corporate IT.
Yeah.
And just one last question: we are here at Zenith Live. Any thoughts from the show? Did it? I know you were speaking.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's been a great show. I've really enjoyed it. It's my first time at Zenith. My first time coming to a Zscaler conference. I've gone to other conferences in the past. It's always a great value to meet so many people across the industry. I spoke with people in my industry across the financial sector to compare notes. What are you doing? What are we doing? And those conversations go beyond the technology. They go into your security portfolio, your posture. So I think that networking is always the biggest plus from a show like this. Regarding this show, the content has been outstanding. I've been to a number of technical sessions with a lot of people here from my organization, getting additional training, seeing new features, seeing what's on the R&D roadmap. So yeah, it's been a fantastic show. It's been very well run and very educational. And again, from my role as a business information security officer, it's really the networking is the most valuable thing that I draw out of these shows.
Yeah, well, great. Well, from what I've seen, everyone's been very well engaged, all the way from the keynotes down to the sessions. And I've gone to a few. They were very well attended as well. So anyway, James, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate hearing what's going on with yourself and Liberty Mutual. On behalf of James Colson, I'm Zscaler saying thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time on another Zcast.